and the other departments has saved us billions of dollars so far, especially in just the firing of unnecessary employees who aren't doing anything. That's a good thing, right? Instead of taxing people and stealing money from them, we're just gonna get rid of people who shouldn't be paid because I'm paying them, you're paying them. That's not cool.
No, Caitlin, you're wrong. Caitlin, you're wrong. You can't say this.
What about you? What's your reaction to his first month?
I'm excuse my nervous. It's my first time doing that.
No, you're okay.
I don't like his policies more so than how he's acting.
Okay.
I've already seen most of the news regarding what he's been doing, like the different policies and different executive orders he's already signed. I don't like how he's cutting a lot of certain things from people.
Okay.
And the people he's doing it to don't know it.
Okay.
Or they just refuse to see it, and it hurts them in the long run.
Who are you talking about specifically?
Whoa. Sorry. Trump, right?
Yeah. Who's he hurting that might not be seeing it or acknowledging it?
The old people.
Okay.
A lot of the time. I'm 18, right? So I don't know if that constitutes
No.
but my viewpoint. But from what I see, right, I just don't understand it, how they can see what they're doing, or they can't see what they're doing, right? And I'm like, you gotta look at what's happening because it's hurting you.
What is happening that's hurting them?
Cutting the Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the DEI stuff that he was doing also affects them because...
So if you guys don't know what they're referring to exactly, I'm sure everyone knows, but I'm just going to explain it. They're talking about Donald Trump's first few months, or I guess few months in office. The man with the hair and the beard is talking about how detrimental Donald Trump has been to the United States. And I'm assuming Caitlin Bennett will talk about how positive Donald Trump has been to the United States. My name is LFR JoJo. I'm kind of here to break down the logical aspects of their arguments. Let me know if you guys want more videos like this. Anyways, let's go.
Because of that, it might not help them also. Like some old black people might not be able to have jobs because of the, supreme white people at the top of some corporations.
Supreme white people at the top of some corporations? I've never heard that before. So is there any corporation that you can pinpoint that has a supreme white person at the top?
Most of them. I don't have them. I don't have them loaded, but there's a lot of them.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a little nervous, but I do have points.
Having fun.
I do have ideas of it.
Yeah.
But the problem that I just see is that they don't like looking at it, and when they do look at it, they just refuse to acknowledge it.
One thing that I find offensive, and let me know if you guys, agree with me or you at least understand where I'm coming from. I get really upset when I hear people say that because DEI is rolled back, black people won't be able to get jobs. And they don't say it directly, but they really do kind of hint at it. Because when he said, people won't be able to get jobs due to the white people at the top of the mountain or whatever, it just made me think like, what are you talking about? Do you just think that black people are just going to be unemployed because Donald Trump got rid of DEI? Is that what you're saying without saying it? Here's what I say to you. We are more than capable enough to get careers without DEI policies. And I'm not saying that DEI is just an evil thing. I'm not saying that. But when you phrase it as if DEI rollbacks are just going to destroy the black community, we're not going to be able to get employed because we're so unqualified, that's really offensive. That's really offensive to me. I'm not going to lie, but let's continue.
It's like, that's my president, even though like felon 45, felon 47. And I'm like, Come on, man. You don't want that. That's what I see.
So you're 18. These other people that you're talking about probably in their 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Do you think they might have a little bit more experience and wisdom than you to maybe there's reasons why they support Trump that maybe you're not understanding? Because you have vastly different problems, right? And vastly different world experiences.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something there that you might not know why they support Trump, and maybe they see these things happening and they're like, there's a lot of corruption in Medicaid, there's a lot of corruption in DEI, and there's a lot of corruption in the federal government. Maybe they've seen this and they're like, we need someone to get in there and get rid of it. Or are they just dumb?
Hang on. It's hard for me to think sometimes.
Oh no, you're fine. If you're too overwhelmed, we definitely don't have to continue. You're fine.
in terms of the wisdom, right? A lot of the old people that I've seen, this goes for, like, an example that I've had is my stepdad, right? He, graduated, I think, college with a certificate in electrical engineering and stuff, but he's a conspiracy nut. And a lot of those conspiracies tie into what Trump's also believing.
Okay.
And as for, like, cutting Medicaid, Medicare, and DEI and Social Security, we need those things. I'm okay with them taking it on my taxes, because what Europe does, right? Germany and Switzerland and all that other places, right? They take stuff out of your taxes to pay for certain things. If we have, like, Obamacare, right? That was the closest thing that I've seen that was like a universal health care for the United States. It was the closest thing I've seen. Medicare and Medicaid help old people and young people, not go into straight up debt.
Right.
Because if I'm scared to get my teeth fixed, or I'm scared to get a broken bone, I work in the warehouse industry. So if I break something or I mess up one of my bones or my joints, I'm freaked out.
Okay, you're freaked out.
There, you got it. Clip out.
Perfect. All right. Well, have you?
Here's what I will say. I think older people are naturally more wise than younger people. They are naturally more wise because when you have wisdom, that wisdom is sometimes you can't read wisdom in a book. Sometimes you have to live out things. You have to experience things. You have to see things. And that comes as you age, naturally. However, I will not sit here and say older people are just naturally smarter than younger people. And the reason I say that, well, to an extent, the reason I say that is because what is intelligence? Intelligence is your capacity and your ability to learn and your ability to make sense of pattern recognition. And it's also how many relevant things that you know and that are actually factual. That's what intelligence is. It's pattern recognition, how many things you know, and your ability to make sense of the world, and how much you decide to research and learn. And older people do not naturally go out and learn information more than younger people do. That's not something they do. As you age, sometimes you do get stuck in a pattern of life. You sometimes don't have time to sit down and just read and learn information. I do think older people have, certain capacities to be smarter than younger people, but I will not sit here and inherently say they're smarter. I'm only saying this because Caitlin Bennett brought up the point that, do you think these people know something that you don't? It's possible, but you can't just assume everyone who's older than you knows something that you don't know because they're older. We all know that's not true. We all have people who are older than us that we are way smarter than. And we all have people who are younger than us who are smarter than us. That's just how life works. But anyways, let's continue.
Is there anything good that he's done? I know you're not a big fan of him, but can you point to anything good?
If there's anything good, he's making it an easy target for himself. That's for sure.
In what way?
he's painting a very big target on himself.
Okay.
By acting this way, and it's not, and it helps people see who he really is sometimes. But if you want like a real answer as to what he's done that's good, I can't give you one, because as far as I know, he's corrupted many businesses he's had. He's corrupted.
Just in his second term as president, there's not one good thing you can point to. Dude,
it's just becoming Nazis again.
You think so? Who else was? Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
Oh, here we go. Now I'm in it.
Yeah. Now we're
okay. So, the Nazis back in the day, they divided groups. They divided and conquered, as what Sun Tzu did in The Art of War, right? You divide and conquer. It makes it easier to take things from people. He did the patches for the Jews, and for the gays, he did a pink triangle, right? And that divided them. And if you wore that, you were automatically in that vicinity, right? My brain's too fast.
Take your time.
It makes it easier to hunt those people down and take them out, as with the Arabs and the Latinos and the Hispanics and.
Do you think Trump's doing that to them?
Yeah.
How is he taking out Latinos and Hispanics and Arabs?
it does that with the DEI programs. He cuts the DEI programs. Those programs help those people get into certain jobs that typically were just barred from them back in the day, right? Just straight up not allowed, right?
So he cut federal DEI programs, which were very, very costly. We've saved billions of dollars alone in just cutting these DEI initiatives and stop paying these employees to push what he would say is leftist propaganda into our federal government, which isn't needed. We don't need things about how to talk to black people if you're white and how to be an ally to your gay coworker. I think people are smart enough the way they don't need to know that. So cutting that's what he cut. And he cut that from federal employees. Now, private companies are choosing to get rid of that on their own. So I think, does he not have the right within the federal government to say this is wasteful spending? Our deficit, we have a crazy debt. Maybe we should cut down on these things that don't really matter in the workplace. And you think that makes him a Nazi?
Okay. I believe that the debt could be solved by just taxing the people that need to be taxed.
Like who?
Literally the billionaires that deserve to be taxed.
If we tax them at 100%,
not 100%.
But if we did, it still would not cause even a fraction, a dent into our debt in this country. But Doge coming in and being an advisor to...
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I think, Caitlin, you underestimate how rich people are. But I will agree with this point. Just taxing billionaires will not solve America's problem. That alone will not solve our problem. Remember, we're like $40 trillion in debt. You have to think about this, We're $40 trillion in debt, and year by year, annually, we're not really making a dent in paying this debt back in terms of our revenue. In order for America to turn a profit, basically, in order to pay back this debt, you can't just tax billionaires. That solution is too simple. It won't work. You would have to rewrite the entire way we do taxes. You would have to rewrite how we conduct taxes as a nation. So from that point of view, Caitlin is right. However, if we tax billion and trillion dollar corporations in a new way of, rewriting taxes, we can definitely make a dent in that tax plan. And if you say taxing billionaires won't make a difference or make a dent, then you can't also turn back around and say firing, for example, federal employees can make a dent, because the amount of money that goes into federal employees is about, if you don't want to say is equal to, it's right there with billionaires. It's like they're both right the same. If you look at federal employees' money and you look at billionaires' money. So you can't just go by it won't make a dent. That's not a good argument, Caitlin. I do understand you, but saying it won't make a dent, people not trying to hear that. Let's continue.
Trump and the other departments has saved us billions of dollars so far, especially in just the firing of unnecessary employees who aren't doing anything. That's a good thing, right? Instead of taxing people and stealing money from them, we're just going to get rid of people who shouldn't be paid because I'm paying them, you're paying them. That's not cool.
No, Caitlin, you're wrong. Caitlin, you're wrong. You can't say this, because if you're going to sit here in one breath and say, I'm not going to say you're wrong. If you're going to sit here in one breath and say taxing billionaires won't make a difference, you can't turn around and say firing federal employees will make a difference, because the executive branch's employees, which these executive orders are going to, it's not even going to the legislative and judicial. The executive branch, all of their salaries and benefits is less than 2%. No, it's less than 5% of the federal government's annual budget. It's less than 5%. So if you're going to sit here and say that's making a big difference, I genuinely don't understand how you can say taxing billionaires won't make a difference. And I'm not sitting here defending taxing billionaires. I'm just pointing out the logic in here. You can't say he's wrong and that his logic is wrong and that won't make a difference, but then turn around and point at something that would only cut less than 5% of the budget is going to make a difference. I'm sure taxing billionaires can get you that 5% back. But let's continue.
Right? But, you know, to a point, I do have to point out, you said, like, you know, the Nazis would label people and put them into groups. I see the left doing that, giving them pride flags, giving the Hispanics the special label of being, you know, like, you're gonna be deported, or, you know, you're in this certain group. I think the left does a really good job of doing that. They even called Trump supporters the basket of deplorables. They put us, and they call us racist, they call us Nazis. So I think the group that actually does a lot of the labeling might be the left. Coming up with these pride flags, putting out in front of their windows to let you know what group they're a part of, and if you're not part of it, they don't want you coming in. Trump supporters, we have that, you know, they label us with a lot of terrible things, but I don't see Trump out there trying to give people images so we know how they identify and what part of group they're in, and how they might think and stuff like that. He's just trying to better everybody as a whole. And I see a lot of, I really just see a lot with the pride flags out here. That's what came to mind when you said that. Which I don't know. I don't think the left is a bunch of Nazis, but I see no evidence for Trump being a Nazi.
Yeah, you can't just go around waving the term Nazis loosely. I hate when people do that. I hate it because that's such a strong term, and when you loosely use terms such as that, it loses its strength. Y'all get what I'm saying? You can't just go around calling everyone you disagree with negative and detrimental terms. That's what happened to the word racist. When you just call everyone who's a conservative racist, the word loses its weight. So when you actually meet a real racist and you call them racist, people go and think you're just calling everyone racist. You have to be very selective with what you say. Power lies in the tongue. You can't just go around saying anything. But let's continue.
Okay. Is that my phone?
It might be. It's Trump calling to ask why you're calling him a Nazi.
I wouldn't pick up, but...
Anything else? We're gonna probably move on here soon, but yeah, anything else you want to add? Nothing good? He's deporting criminals and rapists. That's good, right? As a woman, I don't want to be in a country with illegal aliens who have been convicted of murder and rape. Is that good?
Okay, listen. The deporting of people, you might say he's deporting criminals and stuff.
Right.
That's like a fraction of what he's deporting.
Okay.
It's mostly, you know, Latinos who come here. Sometimes they don't know they're undocumented and just unknowingly get deported because, like, oh, I thought I was an American citizen when they came in illegally as a kid when they were born somewhere else. But they were doing their jobs. They were taxpayers. They paid their taxes and they couldn't even get what they wanted. Because
you think the majority of people being deported are people with no criminal history?
Yes.
That's not true. No, that's not true. He is focusing first on criminals who, so, you know, they broke the law coming into the country, but then they further broke the law by committing murder and rape, especially against women. Women have been very victimized by these illegal aliens. I don't know where you got that from, but he's focusing first on criminal aliens. Isn't that a good thing?
She's actually 100% right here, and I looked it up. According to available data, and please display this, the majority of people being deported are not considered non-criminals. Wait, what? Oh yeah, are not considered non-criminals, meaning most individuals deported have some kind of criminal conviction, although the specific nature of the crime may vary. So yeah, she's actually 100% right there. He was 100% wrong there. I didn't even know that. That's why I looked it up. Wow. Let's continue.
The majority of people that I can see, right, are people who just work. They're like us.
That's not true. Yeah.
And the illegal criminals and stuff are part of that fraction. But the
majority of that
is working class people.
No, they're not.
Because they pay into taxes, the IRS counts that because they get paid straight up, and the IRS counts that. Then why is there a statistic for illegal people who get paid money and that goes into taxes like Social Security and Medicaid?
It's not true that that's who's being deported, though. Where did you hear that from?
I have sources to this.
Yeah, what sources are you saying that the majority of illegal immigrants being deported are non-criminals?
I've seen posts from people who are on the MAGA side, who have people who are undocumented and stuff like that.
Who?
I can't give names.
Well, I won't pressure you anymore. I think you're getting overwhelmed. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I do want to let you know, criminals are being deported. Rapists, murderers, people who sexually assault children. These are the people who are being deported. And eventually, once they get out of the country, it is going to be, targeting people who came over illegally in general, which I also support. But that's who's being deported right now. And that is a good thing. And especially as a woman, I don't want people here in this country, even legal citizens here in this country, who rape and murder and target children and women. They should be out of our country. If they're not supposed to be here in general, why don't we just get rid of them? For like, I assume that, you're on the left, you believe in women's rights and stuff. Isn't that a good thing for women to have these people out of their spaces?
My mom, right? She was a very educated woman. She was born deaf. That's a first.
Yeah.
But then became a speech professor.
Okay.
Which is insane, because typically, deaf people don't really go into places where audio is really necessary, right?
Sure, yeah.
Which is an insane accomplishment.
Yes.
She worked for 3 different colleges, one of them as a professor in speech. And I'm sure, full-heartedly, she would not like what Trump's doing.
I just asked you a yes or no question.
Really?
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to your mom. I'm sure she's a wonderful woman. But
as a woman, yes, I agree, right? I'm not a woman, but as a man, I do agree it helps you guys with.
Great. There he goes. So he's doing something good.
You're not. I'm done.
Okay, that's fine.
So he stormed off. This was pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if I'm wrong, let me know. I'm not here to spread no propaganda or nothing. I really be wanting to know the truth. I want to know the truth. I'm gonna tell y'all right how it is. I'm not here to spread no lies to you. But anyways, it's LFR JoJo. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.